ラメは風になり走れさあ昨日のお前を超えてゆくんだ立ち向かえ自分より大きなものにそうさ若さは燃え尽きない流星だ
All right, folks, good afternoon. We have more Europa Universalis 5 ahead of us today. There I am. There's the game, everything's capturing all properly. I think that what I'm going to do is I did do a little bit of homework last night. The game is still a little bit impenetrable, because of course it is, right? It's so much denser. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a new game again, but keep it in Naples. And I'm going to try to do things a little bit differently. It also turns out that my confusion with the lack of missions by default and whatnot is because if I left click and do any country, it doesn't think to include the introductory welcome, here's how you play stuff. But if I right click and go to recommended countries, then by default it does a learning walkthrough. It gives you the missions to play around with. The expectation, I guess, for Paradox is that any new player would only want to play with the suggested starts. And that if you're selecting any country, it'll give you the prompt not to show the welcome window again. But all it's really telling you is, hey buddy, if you're new to EU and its mechanics, go to the recommended countries. You don't want to dip in deep yet. And want to skip the tutorial. Okay, I see that now. I think that's a little bit silly. I did toy around with some of the tutorials last night, but of course I couldn't do too much because, you know, after stream, having to make dinner, clean up a bit. We're coming with a little bit extra knowledge today. We're going to need a whole lot more practice. So, a whole lot more practice is basically the phase that we're still at. While this loads. What if I just go ahead and make some mega inflation? I'm not going to be building all the time, right? Things become more expensive during inflation, right? So what if, after doing all of my buying and building, I just set the minting to maximum? Get a whole lot of money for a few months, and then set my minting policy back down to countering inflation. And by then, I'm already just waiting for stuff to build. Because there's a lot of waiting for stuff to build, right? I gotta build roads. I gotta build my resource gathering operations. I gotta build buildings to process things. And then there's a lot of waiting. You know, I think that might actually be the smarter way to do it. Okay, of course, like the last time, we're gonna go to Naples. We're gonna do it for Grandpa. Now, the thing is that the missions The missions seem to be more tutorializing than the big mission trees from before in previous Europa Universalis and Imperator Rome. So maybe that's why it disables achievements. Packages of individual tasks available to a country. Guidance for the country. Useful rewards. Depending on settings. What do we think? If I'm doing this Iron Man anyway, or if I'm doing this just practice anyway, and then so might do a few runs here or there, should I go ahead and just do it Iron Man anyway? Nah. Who's over in Naples? It's the Anjous in Sicily. Anjou in Naples. The Barcelona in Sicily. Of the Aragonese Barcelonas. Okay. We could play as a pope if we could actually play as a pope. Let's hop back into Naples. We could start the learning walkthrough if you want, but nah. So, let's try to set things up, right? Because there's a few things that I had not paid too much attention to the first time around. So, like, control, right? Of course, control is bigger around your capital, and it decays out the further you get. But proximity is also pretty important. I hadn't really respected the fact that geography really limits how much your country is able to interact with itself. Like going down from Naples to Nicastro, they could just go over the sea. Cosenza, over the sea to a port and then inland. San Angelo de Lombardy is just right over there. If I want to go to Ariano, we just go over and up. If you want to go to Bovino, over and up. Melfi, over and up. But going further inland is completely impossible. So, what are the things I have to do? I mean, even here, right? We can go to there. But we can't go to Sant'Arcangelo because the mountains are too much. We don't have the port availability to just sail around this way. So, if I want my buildings to become profitable, I need to provide resources to them. If I want my people to have their needs satisfied, I need to provide resources to them. And while I do have resources to satisfy those, a lot of them are in places that I do not have direct access to. They're in my country, but I don't have direct access to them. So I think this time around, I'm going to put more emphasis on building up roads, on building up resources. It's going to take forever for me to get my war with Sicily after all. Malta's all by itself. So, current research. Let's go ahead and we'll do organized religion because that's the first one in queue that we can do. And then what should we aim for? Institution growth? How institutions spread? That's more for 10 years from now. Diplomats, army traditions, cultural traditions, religious influence, stability, diplomatic capacity. Of course, we gotta get literacy in clergy, literacy in burghers for number 2. Maximum RGO size in rural. 10% is 10%. I'm sure that'll It'll stack up with time. But I think let's work towards capacity first. Cost of purchasing food would be nice, because if I don't get enough food for myself, then I could always buy food from elsewhere. But given that we have wheat, provides 8 food. Wine is more of a good. Horses don't provide food. I think my Italian great-grandfather might disagree with that. Livestock provides food. Wool, I've been sleeping on. It provides a good, but you kill the sheep eventually, so that's also food. Alum and lead will provide for my glassworks. Legumes also provide food and prosperity, it looks like. No, that's a source. Is that all this says? Sources of 4 olives. 1. Good demands. Transport cost for olives. Cost 1 trade capacity to trade. Oh, and olives also provide food. They provide 4 food. All this Mediterranean and Adriatic coast, we only have one place that does fish. Fish is one of the most basic foods for European population of this age, as meat was more of a luxury for the great majority. And yet, we got more livestock, we got more wool. See, wheat is 8, livestock is 8, so wheat and livestock are both good options. Wool gives a good, but is 3 less. So, lack of commander is easy. Let's do our cabinet slots first. And because I hadn't realized how much of my power was being distributed out based on who was my commanders, who was my cabinet, we are going to put little Luigi Angio as my cabinet member. He's got pretty poor administrative, middling diplomacy, great military. And then let's see, another cabinet member. I could put somebody from the clergy instead. There's no burghers or peasants to put onto my cabinet. 59 diplomacy. Philippe de Barcelona. Another de Barcelona. The same people. The same people as in Aragon. The same people in Athens. In Neopatria. In Mallorca, in Sicily. But the only other options are clergy, or a whole bunch of nobles. And I don't exactly want to enfranchise the nobles right now, you know? So I think I'll do a political appointment here and elevate somebody from the clergy. It might not give me the best of stats to do it that way, but you know, you gotta think about the political ramifications of your decisions. Hey, Wither, the only option is murder and doom. I don't know there's gonna be a lot of either in this, for now. I gave this thing like 8 hours yesterday, which between complaining and whinging and commentary turned out to like 6 hours of playtime. And in 6 hours of playtime, I managed to do 1 war against Sicily to take half the island, and floundered a whole lot on development. There is going to be insufficient doom, I'm afraid, because I'm still on the game is brand new. I might have some Paradox game experience, and a little bit of Imperator Rome experience. And while this game is made off the bones and sinew of Imperator Rome, The human transmutation ritual was a huge success, and they've turned it into such a monstrous beast that you could see where the limbs might have been, but the monster is so much larger and so much hungrier that it's a wholly new system for me to learn all over again. We're going to make little Luigi here our head of cabinet. We'll lose 5 legitimacy. Is that for putting a head of cabinet in general, or because we're putting a head of cabinet that represents the crown influence? We do lose legitimacy either way to mark someone down as head for life. It also costs 64 gold to promote. I got plenty right now, but I'm going to lose it pretty soon. All this cash between road building and RGO and building production. Because I gotta connect this rugged area to this relatively flat area, and roads are expensive, it turns out. It'll make things smoother, as we can more easily get control to raise up around here. We could more easily get tax and goods flowing if there's roads. But nobody told me that building up Italy was going to be such an investment. Is that why great-grandfather left Calabria to come over to America? It wasn't just that Italy was becoming too fascist for him, and he wanted out while the getting was good. But it's all mountains. Building roads is so expensive. Alright, I'm gonna spend the money. We gain crown head of cabinet. Gives crown power of plus 25%, more legitimacy. Monthly Republican tradition up. Really? Well, I guess that's if we had Republican traditions. We're not playing as a republic. We're also not playing as a horde or a tribe, so a lot of those don't apply. Legitimacy we do gain because we're a monarchy. Okay. Country upgrade, form new country. I'm not going to press a button. Now let's see. What should my next focus be on? We got armies and navies. I could make myself the commander of an army. I'm doing it all wrong, to be honest. I should be watching V for Vendetta. I guess Stephen Fry's alright. What was that? Huh. Is it Bonfire Night? Oh yeah, it is the 5th of November, isn't it? I forgot about the 5th of November. Oh, Luigi's working in the cabinet, cannot be in command of a unit. And being in the head of cabinet means he's doubly not allowed. Penny for the guy, all I've got are... I've got a bicentennial American quarter, and a Women of History Edith Ole Hawaii quarter. That's all I got. I haven't got pennies on me with her, I'm sorry. I've also got this, Trans Love pin. Little heart pin that Toasty keeps wanting to eat, so it lives behind my keyboard. Does that count? It can't be helped. I might have to put some nobility in charge of stuff. Capitano Folco di Luca is a naval engineer. Ship repair speed at sea. You know what? Let's have Di Luca live to his strengths. I prefer him leading armies, But my 250 is pretty weak sauce anyway. You don't think that'll amount to much in the UK nowadays? Man, I am so miffed because during one of my trips to the UK, I got this little coin that was like a Beatrix Potter not really commemorative coin, but like, you know, minted in some anniversary of hers. And I liked it because it was cool enough. Hey, unique coin, but apparently it can go for a little bit of scratch. And I must have just idly spent it because I had my eye on that coin and then it vanished from me pockets one day. How on earth did it vanish from me pockets? Hey, Haley, you want me to tell Toasty I said hi? Toasty. Toasty. He's sleeping right now. I have to tell him another time. But hey, Vastness. He's taking his noontime nap right now, the little guy. I think it's taken it out of him, adjusting to the hour change for meals, but I've been trying to adjust them to the new hour change anyway, like, up until daylight savings ended, and the week leading up to it, I was giving them their meals a little bit later, each and every day, so that by the time the time change happens, a meal too late, an hour too late is exactly on time. But they're still protesting. I like these numbers better, even if his trait is better for admirals. So, First Army, you are going to be led by Di Luca. And Navy, Sfondrati is also a naval engineer. We could let him have it. He'll have better maintenance, blockade efficiency, possible frontage, correct section chance, morale, maritime presence. Maritime presence is nice. When I went to war against Sicily yesterday, they only had their 2 boats. And so any naval confrontation was going to be a win. Plus 94% Navy initiative. Even if movement speed, naval damage done, and combat speed aren't going to have the biggest of bonuses. I do want to improve my maritime presence, I think. I've been sleeping on it by keeping my boats in port the entire time yesterday. Now, how could I set you to just patrol on your own? Split, balance, detach mercenaries, detach levies, disband unit. It could gather food from nearby ports and distribute food to nearby armies and supply depots. That's cool. Navy is not mothballed. Putting First Navy into mothball, each ship will be reduced to 10% strength, but maintenance will be half. Oh, I like that. Mothball them in peacetime. Unit ability. Make it available for hire. Build to Navy. Blockade capacity. Detach, 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 detach. Select objective. Alright. Patrol the seas. Seek to increase maritime presence in the highlighted sea zones. There we go then. Spread out and blockade enemy ports. We could use that as a military objective. Hunt navies. I should probably take more advantage of the automation of the game. It gives you plenty of tools to automate the game and have it do various actions for you. In previous Paradox games, I haven't really had the need for it, since once you get into the simulation, it's pretty easy enough to micromanage everything. If you want to be the micromanaging boss that wants to pore over every single cell of the spreadsheet and give every single minute command, these games are for you. Nice, mothballing the Navy is one of the best ways to let training standards slip and lose my Navy's edge. Well, that's just real life, though. Like, even the mighty world police of the US Army goes through its cycles, historically, of wartime happens, you raise the standards, train everybody up more rigidly. Peacetime, you drop... No. I got it backwards. Wartime, you drop the standards, get everybody in, train them up as best you can. You know, you get that big bloat in, you get that wartime experience, you get the bodies, and then peacetime comes around, you raise the standards, and then suddenly half the military force drops off, and you get the smaller force to maintain. And you keep a whole bunch of leadership and training potential folk, so that when the cycle resets and you drop standards again and get everybody back in, you still have the lineage of the previous experience to train all the overweight folk and druggies back up and then repeat anew. I also took a little bit of a look at the Steam discussion forums, and while Steam discussion forums for even moderately popular games become worthless as the forums just fill up with chucklefucks, it looks like, after one day of play, everyone else is finding the AI very passive. So, if my standards are slipping, I don't have to worry too much, because that'll just put me on par with the AI. It's also a much slower game, too. So, maybe the AI just gets a whole lot more aggressive as the ages go on and the games go on. I can't imagine too many people were playing at speed 5 and blitzing the entire game when little Triforce in the ocean. When you could fuck yourself up pretty well by not maintaining your internal developments. Okay, we're gonna set Sicily as our rival again. That's not there, is it? Possible rivals. Kingdom of Sicily, we're much stronger. They are our war enemy already. They're already our rival. They're already our rival. We're much stronger than Sicily. Croatia is subject to the Kingdom of Hungary. If my guy dies too quickly, before we get the event that asks us do we want to make our granddaughter our heir, then Hungary will inherit us. You spend most of today developing an algorithm for farming weird substance. Cool. A regimen that created millions in a relatively short time. You're so great. Congratulations, Wither. I think in the Macaw Discord, I saw some other game that people were doing some really crazy money farming. I don't remember what it was, though, but it reminds me of it. Set France as our rival? Removing rival cost ability, so maybe if Sicily is already our rival, I'll just ignore it. Just because we can make rival doesn't mean we should make rival. I don't want too many people gunning for me after all if they recognize that there's weakness in me. Maybe I'll wait for the Guelphs event to pop up and see which one of these bigger guys up here is worth consuming. Maybe Genoa. So, my pops need. They need grains, they need fruits, fine cloth, and furniture. In the Naples market, in the eastern half of the country, they need fine cloth, furniture, and rice. But on the eastern half, it's only in decimals, 0.3, 0.3, 0.1. So it's less of a worry if I ignore that for now. 10, 6, 6, 5 is so much bigger. And my unprofitable buildings. Potter's Guild, Glass Guild, Weapon, Weapon, Weapon. Tool Guild. Brewery, Tool Guild, Mason. dye makers in Aquila. Mason, 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 mason. I could downgrade on those. What do these buildings even need to get what they need? They need clay or stone. We have those, so if you build more RGOs over here, that's more clay production. Maximum profit, A to Z, total amount of buildings. Weaponsmith, you require lumber and stone. Lumber and stone are making stone tools out of Minecraft. Gain tech to make several drones, creating a drone swarm. But the drones can't communicate, you have to divvy up the task cleverly. That's pretty cool. You know, I kind of discounted the possibility of drone swarms being a modern warfare thing. But recent conflicts have shown me that that was foolish of me. Coal and tools. Stones and gems for weaponsmith? To make weapons, to make weapons, to make weapons at the same price, the same demand. Should I make weapons out of wood and stone, or out of gems? I think the choice to me is clear. Glass guild, you guys need lumber, sand, tools, alum, lead, or simply lumber, sand, and tools. Okay, there's a whole lot for me to digest here and absorb. So, clay I want for various purposes. Let's build more clay. Turns out the RGO button is right here to get more clay going. Expand the RGO for 50 coin each. We'll start with 1. Let me see what else we got nearby. Fiber crops. Lumber we also have lots of use for. So we'll get more lumber, keeping an eye on my gold. Iron? We got tool making shops that are also... Let's see, brewery. Turns wheat and lumber and tools into beer. Potter's guilds turn clay, lumber, and tools into pottery, goods to sell. Tool guilds make tools, and what are you missing? My tool guilds are missing more iron. We have native sources of iron. And looks like that's my only native source of iron right now, is down here. There's none in Sicily. Keeping my eyes open there to see. They got fruit, though. They got fruit, more clay. My guys do need fruit, too. Do we have ease of access to here? We do. They could port directly over and then over back. So iron will make a few more RGOs. Whew. We got wheat. Let's start building some roads then. Some roads going from the capital to connect east and west. That's gonna be a pretty big money maker, or money taker I should say, because roads are pretty damn expensive. It'll cost me 124 to build out towards here. And then I can start connecting out this way. 246 to go 1, 2, 3 versus 1, 2. It's a little bit more. Do I really want to right now? Let me put this away. Because going for the clay, we can just hop, hop, hop. So we have direct access to it. Direct... The wood that I'm building, we don't have easy access to. We can go there, then over. There, then over, so that's easy. There and over is easy. No wonder they consider the Naples starch to be intermediate difficulty. And then if you want to play the economic game, Holland makes a better tutorial. 348. We can build out towards here, but I kind of want to get closer to that way too. I guess we'll build towards Melfi first. 246. So much money taken! So much money! But it's gotta be done. Alright, now let's see. Let's turn army maintenance all the way down. That's like 0.75 less gold. Fort maintenance, we don't need it. We're losing money on buildings, so we gotta get these things up. Minting, we'll mint as much as we can until the point of inflation. But given that I just spent a whole lot of money, and now I can't spend money anymore right now, it's not the end of the world if I mint so much that inflation starts to rise up. It feels kind of exploitative, but unless I got the system entirely wrong, it feels like I could spend a couple of months making fat cash, soaking up all the inflation, and then once I'm satisfied with the amount of money, and if inflation hasn't gotten too far away, drop the minting back down to reasonable standards to drop inflation, and I've already got my my fat treasury. Okay, nobles. I don't want their fondness to decay, because you do get benefit if their satisfaction is above 50. So burgers, how about I drop a little bit of you guys? Plus 20. A difference of 3.44 or 3.62 is a difference of 0.19 for my monthly income. That's not a big difference. But if I can get things going upwards. Selling food gives me 2.16. Diplomacy. Vassals are giving me a little bit of scratch. Well, Navy, you don't need too much money right now. We're not going to war. Where is that button? Blockade capacity, objective. We'll have them control the seas around all of our relevant sea tiles. We gotta get that maritime presence way up. I don't want them going too far out to sea because that causes attrition. Okay. Unprofitable buildings. 11111. It's plenty. Gotta worry about the least profitable first. People have their needs not being met, so how about the trade view? Imports for profits. This is silver, right? Very often yesterday when I was trying to mint a whole lot, I would end up with the warning that my minting is only at half capacity because of material shortage. Minting so much that I guess I run out of silver and gold to mint with, so I can't mint even more. So I think I will go ahead and import more silver. Silver stockpile, silver stockpile. They don't have a whole lot, but the trade gives me an extra 4.6. Bam! Instant jump in profits. Food imports, I don't think I'll do just yet, since I do have... I got a lot of raw materials. Once we get the internal infrastructure built up, we are loaded on wheat, we are loaded on wine, on olives. We have some fish, we could always build more fishing villages. We got wool. Population needs. We could make our own fine cloth, couldn't we? Because we have wool, we have silk even. What buildings have we got here? Marketplace, Tool Guild, Spinners Guild, turns wool into cloth. Glass Guild, Distillers Guild, Brewery, Paper Maker. Tailor's Guild. Come here, Tailor. Turns silk into fine cloth. So I also want to boost my silk production, because that'll give more fine cloth for my people. I don't think I want to import things that I could directly produce myself. I just need to work on my ability to produce them in the first place. 6.5 fine cloth missing for my population needs in the Napoli market. But fine cloth isn't one of my unprofitable buildings, so I just need more of it. We can reach the silk here, we can reach the silk there. So boosting my silk production should help my fine cloth production. Okay, alright. So, glass are unprofitable, and when they're unprofitable, it's typically because they're not getting their inputs. You guys need more stone. Weaponsmiths need more stone in general. Alright. Okay. For population needs. Sturdy grains, fruit, furniture. Oh, these lower stuff are pennies. Maybe we'll get some jewelry from Sevilla, just for the profit, and to satisfy some folk. Suggested trades for building needs. 0? 0! There's no suggested trade for building needs. Nobody wants to give me their alum. Let's see, I'll take more silver then. More silver for my needs. Change trade capacity by 1. Using 3 trade capacity. Okay, I think that's because I clicked it 3 times. I got more over there. Because otherwise it's only... Yeah, it's only 1, right? And I clicked 3 times, so it's 1 times 3. Just making sure I know the system. Manual trade capacity. We have 3.57 left. And I got that silver in me. So I can boost my minting even further. We're gonna get some inflation growing on a month-by-month basis, but that is perfectly fine. That justifies an extermination. Oh no, which does? Is it my silver gathering operations that justifies extermination? Look, I got to mint a whole bunch. Plus 0.05 inflation per month. That's an actual tangible gain. And this is just for pennies. I'm just gaining pennies for this inflation gain. 0.006, 0.005. There, I'll mint for 5 extra. Much lags and terribleness. Hold on. Oh. Oh. I see what you mean. Dropping all the frames right now. 0 kilo... You know what? What probably happened is whatever Twitch server we connected to had a... It's a snap time. It's a little bit grumpy because it skipped snacks time. So it started off fine and now it's getting all... So it's likely going to be unstable for a bit and then disconnect. Or worse, it's gonna just be unstable for a bit and then whoops, sucks to be me. Look at those drops, that's like 20 frames dropping a second. .500, 0 kilobytes per second? It just has to disconnect. It just needs to disconnect and drop the stream. So I can close out of OBS, reopen OBS, and try my luck again. And then, hopefully, we get a better server. Because very often, that's what it comes down to. Did I luck out with the server today or no? Oh, here. While we wait for the bitrate to stabilize. Get out, image. I'm trying to catch up on my blue sky. 3,000, 2,000. You see, this is a direct cause. What really happened here is I started minting too much because I didn't care about the inflation. I didn't realize that the inflation was going to be taken out of my bitrate. Now it works. Now we got by forcing OBS to crash, so I don't do a disconnection normally and just end stream, we get to do continuity of stream by way of the disconnection protection. And it worked. We went from unstable bitrate to a steady 4,000, 5,000 no drop frames. So I guess the SOP is is just, if the bit rate shit, then disconnect, reconnect, roll new dice, and hooray, everything's happy again. No cascade of dropping bitrate. No instability going from 0 to 10,000 to 100 to 7,000. Cool. Of course, OBS. Oh, what do we got here? What do we got? What do we got? Just as I was going... I see you there. Get back to green. Get back to green now. Come on. Come on. There you go. Good puppy. Good puppy. We happy bitrate? We happy bitrate? We good bit... Good bitrate. Who's a good bitrate? Get Europa Universalis back up. Capture, where's my capture? And now the game crashed. Hour of gameplay lost because it crashed after alt-tabbing out and then tabbing back in. The game is 2 for 2 for crashes. 2 days of streaming, 2 crashes now between them. That's alright, that means I gotta get more practice in, right? We didn't even unpause yet as a thing. So let's just redo everything we were doing before. Still loading, please wait. 13:43:7. Yeah, that's last night. I didn't consider the possibility that it wasn't going to let us go to crash, and I was gonna lose an hours of progress. One game you can do this, not like Terraria, you don't have to generate the crimson everywhere. It's literally the exact same world each time. If the cuckoo will not sing, kill it. Is that a counterpart to the previous quote it gave yesterday about if the cuckoo will not sing, wait for it? I guess Oda Nobunaga has run out of patience. I have seen some people at the Steam discussion forum suffer a little bit from the graphics being too intense and everything. Computer unable to run it. But it does give pretty robust graphical options. You can turn things on, turn things off, tweak things around. Someday Pacific. See what they do with Hawaii here, right? Where they break it up into many different parts. I want that for everything else here. It doesn't have to be like as detailed as the Philippines. But they can give some embiggening in size. Palau isn't just, you know, one tiny bit of babbled out with everything else being either non-existent or impassable terrain. Really surprised that Aotearoa has nothing. It's got people. Primary culture, none! Because there's no actual playable country there is all. population. It's got pops. 2,000, 1,000, almost 3,000. That's just population number. Culture's location. It's got people there. It's got actual people in the thousands. But they refuse to let you play it because otherwise you'd have too much fun. And then poor little Europe won't have the natives waiting to be colonized. Alright, back to Naples. I'm tempted to turn on Iron Man just to get a few achievements in, but I don't care too much about achievements, all in all. I think we'll just keep it all at defaults then. Since... Oh, flashbanged again! Every time the game crashes, I have to get flashbanged. So, we'll redo everything we did the last time. Advances. Playing as Naples, as a European kingdom. The game does have a bit of Eurocentrism to it, so they have all the decent... What is it? Technological advances for the era. Organized religion we somehow don't have yet. Get more literacy, more clergy, more burghers. You're in purple. And then, what do we want? 10% extra RGO size in rural? Construction speed? Diplomatic capacity? We'll just work on these two for now. Estate satisfaction equilibrium plus 2.5 on its own. Tolerance of heretical and heathens. We do have some. Let's get literacy, then let's try to go for the Constitution then. Because I do want to get my estates to love me more than they should. Why do I feel like we have less gold than last time? Was that randomized? That better not be randomized. Less gold it feels like, and I'm in the negatives. So... if I got less gold to play with, let's get little Luigi back on board. Joan de Barcelona this time. For our Sicilian... Sicily! I thought I pressed Naples. I didn't press Naples? I didn't press Naples. Did I not press Naples? I thought I did. We got the Swan again. It turns out that Martin Luther was stealing credit from the Swan. Well, no wonder the gold felt so much smaller. I was playing as a smaller country. Poke around, everything should still be stable. I feel like I need to save the game before I alt-tab out to check on things. Naples. Naples. We were still on the cultures map mode, but I'm pretty sure that I clicked over on the Neapolitan blue. Didn't I? I don't think I clicked on the Sicilian green. Oh, double clicking is confirmation. Alright, Kingdom of Naples. How's it supposed to be? Yeah, there's my money. I thought things felt different. Alright, back to my cabinet. Little Luigi. Luigi is going to be my head of cabinet to represent the crown interest and hopefully give us a bit more crown power. Felipe de Barcelona, Bartolomeu Pregnano, shitty stats all around. At least de Barcelona's got somewhat decent diplomacy. And what else are we doing? First army is going to be led by Capitano Seni. He's got amazing stats all around. What's this? Glory Seeker. Army traditions from battle, prestige from land battles. These commanders feel a bit randomized. Maybe? We got some pretty beefy stats all around though this time around. Maybe Capitan Adam de Gaeta will be my little army captain here. Army tradition from land battles and prestige from land battles. Or maybe I'll keep him in queue for when I raise levies and go to war proper like. And keep him from the bigger stacks. Goal-oriented, army movement speed? No. The trouble with the 250 size army is that it's tiny, and so it is so much faster than the big levies that I'll raise, and so they'll end up getting trapped in battles. They have no chance of winning. Burger. We have a burger we could put. He's a naval showman. Naval tradition. You know what? Capitano Arderico Esposito. He represents the burghers. We have a commoner who could lead. Ruthless blockader. Naval damage done. That's pretty cool. We rolled some commoners for our capitanos this time. We will put Esposito, representing the burghers, in charge of the navy, I think. Just to diversify the power balance. And then set you guys on patrol the seas. Every place we've got seas. Alright. Okay. No current research. Oh, yeah. Because we were playing as Sicily by accident. And so we don't have the branch over here that gives us that really cool looking thing that improves the estate satisfaction, because that's only for Sicily's side. Sicily has unique advancement down this tree that we don't get access to. So because we don't get access to the plus 2.5 estate satisfaction, let's build towards diplomacy capacity. 10% RGO size sounds cool, but it also sounds really tiny. I think that'll be more useful as I get more stacking modifiers. And food purchasing cost. I am the food producer. Hurrah, hurrah for the food producer. So. Raw materials. We have iron. Build up iron. We have silk. We have a proximity to here. Yeah, we can go to Cantanzaro, and Cosenza. They're far away. Proximity is minus 17.46. But our people need fine cloth, but the fine cloth makers are not suffering from lack of materials. A loom we have access to, that's in Piedemonte. Yeah,
Are you streaming?
yes I am.
Get the kind of curl on you.
I see it.
All I did was scrunch it when I put in the conditioner, and then scrunch it a little when I was drying it with the towel, but I didn't full towel dry it. I just scrunched it a little to get most of the wet off.
Yeah, Toasty's being cute. Glass Guild in Naples is suffering from a lack of something. What's the something you're lacking in? A loom and lead Glass Guild. Lumber, sand, tools, a loom, lead to make glass. Maybe it's not the loom they're lacking in that. A loom availability, stockpile, we have a green there. A little bit of green on the lead. Tools we have a little bit of. Sand we got nothing. So maybe it's sand we're missing. Lumber we have some of. For building needs is 0 though. Do I not have access to sand markets? Maybe nobody wants to give me sand. Alright. So. We'll go back to 3 of these. For building needs, we got no suggested trades. For population needs, let's go ahead, get jewelry from Sevilla. Get a bit more money into me. Then... I didn't even put my cabinet to use yet, when the game crashed out. What are we doing? Building a road to Melfi? Let's build road to Melfi. That's gonna cost... $246. Am I dwindling money? Because if we want the livestock, the allume, we can already get there with some difficulty, but not too much. It connects. The important thing is it does connect. We'll build up some RGOs. Because we are lacking in grains, fruit. Wheat you count as a sturdy grain, right? Wheat is a good. Okay. We'll build with our dwindling money. We already got the +1 for iron. We haven't built anything on silk yet. Clay we'll get more of. Wool is food and material for cloth. And we got decent proximity to both. Can we get to our lumber source? We can get to our lumber sources. 200 monies left. We'll do 1 more for lumber. Bit of food. Only 1 wool out of 8 here. Bit of food and wool. And then we'll do Wheat here or wheat here? That's 4 out of 11. 3 out of 6. There. And 9 out of 14 monies. I got my cabinet in. Let's give them some tasks. Convert province, rebel crackdown, stabilize country, 0.05. I could always use more stability, legitimacy, improve relations, pop assimilation, form a new primary culture, increase control, 10%, monthly control 1. So 10% for Mr. No Diplomacy versus 10%. 10% either way. Alright. So who's got the lowest control around here? Got some 20 and 30s down here. I want to get them all up eventually. At least it's not like on a location by location basis. It is down to this higher tier. The province level. 23%, 21%. If I sort by population, it's already at 27% here. Should I focus on the place with the most population and the most potential tax? It's not too bad over here. Down below, there's a possibility for better tax because they got lots of good resources there. They got lead, they got iron, a little bit of silk, I think. But the control is rather low, so how about we set one over here? Slowly increase our control of the province. And that's your task. Other will be... We could try assimilating pops, but we're kinda... mostly Neapolitan. A little bit of Median, a little bit of Greco. Sicilian down below, but they're an accepted culture. So maybe I'll simply do... Legitimacy is already really high up. We're already doing province control. Can only one advisor can have... Alright. I can't double up on the province control. Imagine if I could put as many counselors as I have to increasing control everywhere. Stabilize a country then. 0.05 stability. We could encourage migration in places where I don't have as many people to do labor. But I think I'll go for that stability investment then. And while I'm here, let's choose a reform. I've already got feudal nobility. Food production I went for yesterday. Monthly progress of serfdom, food production, a sexy 20%. We focus on agricultural cultivation for the Kingdom of Naples. Or should I do diplomatic range, trade range, crown power? Do I want to boost out my crown power as much as I can? We've already got crown power over the clergy, over the burghers, over the commoners. But the nobility is nearly double our power. I want more power for the crown, don't I? I'm already building roads. I'm building food RGOs. So I'm making it so we have more food for everybody anyway. So how about I do more autocracy? Concentrate that power into the hands of me. 33.48% crown power in opposition to 38.65% power of the nobility. See, this is what I wasn't doing the last time. I wasn't being a complete asshole and trying to become an absolute monarch. I need to become an absolute monarch. Controls being worked on, roads are being built, I'm down to only 14.68 money. Trades? Evidently we don't have any suggested trades for buildings, maybe we don't have access. People problems, fine cloth is a 6.5, fruits. We'll go ahead, put fine cloth for now, even if we can make it. It'll satisfy people's needs, and also make me a pretty profit. They're missing some fruits. Still 6.5 for fine cloth. Fruits, sturdy grains. I see fruits here. We'll get some of this. Even if it's not as profitable. That's legumes. Legumes aren't grains. Suggested import for profit. We can get gems from Tunis. Is this tar? Tar, I'm pretty sure, is a resource I was also lacking a bit on for a while. Let's get more of this silver. Bit more gems. Get some tar in me. And that brings me up to 14.68. Or 86. I'm basically doubling this amount every month. Or at least, well, for the first month. And now... I haven't even tweaked anyone's taxes this time. I haven't lowered taxes. But they're already in the positive. Plus 0.20, plus 4, plus 2. Or, well, plus 0.2, 0.4, 0.2, 0.3. I haven't adjusted their taxes yet. They like me more simply by virtue of claiming more crown power for myself. Claiming more crown power makes them a lot more compliant. Well, I'm sure it also doesn't help that I also gave the burghers an admiralty. They have a little bit of representation of the government now. Fort spending way low. Navy maintenance. They're not going to get into battles. I don't think. So I think it's okay to drop their maintenance. Army maintenance same, but we're going to get penalties here, I'm pretty sure. What is it? Is it my prestige? Yeah, army maintenance, navy maintenance, fort maintenance. If army maintenance was maxed, then we don't get the penalty. But oh well, prestige is rock bottom anyway, who cares? I need the money. Selling food, we have enough of a surplus. Does this count selling food to myself? Nah, that's negatives for those buying food. Clergy has 70% fondness for me, and they're gaining 0.4 a month. But I can't tax them! Alright, let's supplement with some minting. 19.89. I'm making more money simply by virtue of being more popular. An extra 0.05 extra inflation growth a month to get 21.18. I think I could be satisfied with that. And now we just have to wait for things to grow. For the resource gathering operations to finish producing. For the roads to finish building. For money to come in. So I hope that this is an okay setup for starting my economic development. And it only took me a half hour to get back there. Oh. Now, as for diplomacy, I do still want to go against Sicily. And we have 0 spies. And because we have 0 spies, we cannot create casus belli. So let's go ahead and build a spy network first. And now what do I want to do? I wanted to make Aragon into an ally the last time. But it took forever. And they're keen on allying with Sicily anyway. France, we are weaker than them. France we could potentially ally with. $41,000 potential army. But look at this. They're going to be so busy trying to consolidate themselves. They're going to get caught up in the 100 Years' War pretty soon. I am not touching France with a 10-foot pole. Castile? They like me. Minus 74 against making an alliance. Aragon is at plus 31 opinion. Offer Alliance is only at minus 4 right now. Minus 4 is pretty nice. I'm pretty sure it was like, what was it, like 18 or something when I tried to make an ally of them the first time, so I just spent so long building up my diplomacy. Or building up their opinion. Let's spend a little bit of time improving opinion. And then we could try to... Who have we got? We have Achaia and Albania as vassals of ours. Achaia gives all this. In 10 years' time, if they like me, we could start annexation. Actually, not possible due to opinion. It has nothing, it says nothing about you have to wait 10 years first. So what we could actually do is we could try to get Achaea's fondness for us up to 150 right now. They're already at 92. They're already at 92. Byzantine Empire's here though. So they're not going to be happy if Naples tries to get a foothold into Greece here, makes it official. That could be a kind of later game campaign. We could start the annexation process for Achaea, and then as we get better at the game, we could go to war to gobble up more things around here, and then feed them to Achaea. And so we don't get the bad boy points, we don't have to worry about administering this distant land. We could have Achaea become bigger in the Aegean. And then in 100 years' time, they flip on over to us. Except not exactly 100 years' time, it says that they expect the process to last until the 31st of December, 1836. 500 years just about. Cost and length of the process depends on their relative power. If their relative power, they've only got 456 for their soldiery, and they've got one boat. One boat. Maybe future tech will make the number sail by faster. So for now, we could improve opinion. And let's see, hopefully my guy here survives for a bit longer yet. Yesterday he survived long enough to get the question of succession. If we continue to use our current laws that let the Kingdom of Hungary inherit after he dies, or if he changes his laws to cognatic and lets his granddaughter inherit and so Provence and Naples stays together. When I was testing some things last night, this guy died almost right away. And then Kingdom of Hungary and Croatia inherited Naples. That's cool, but I kinda don't want to manage Hungary, Croatia, and Naples all at once. Technically, I was still playing as Naples, because I wasn't playing as a spirit of the nation of Hungary. I was playing as a spirit of the nation of Naples. And so even though same king, same king, same king, you still only play as Naples, not the three. You gotta head out, Wither? Your eye's being itchy? You take care of yourself, Wither. Take care of yourself and your eye. Thank you for hanging out. You enjoy a good rest of your night. Though, Wither, it might tickle you to know that Norway is considered the advanced administrative starting playthrough. If you manage the Holland game and you manage the Naples game, then the game suggests that maybe you'll be man enough to try Norway. As for the Hungarians, he starts killing him. That's my relative. We're both Jews. That's my nephew. Literally my nephew. With better initiative, better prosperity. He's better connected, so he's got better expected cost of court down. Damn it, he's younger than me and better at me and everything. Well, hold on, he's only got 66, 61, 43. I have 61, 75, 34. He's got the better traits, I got the better stats, but I'm just... Estate satisfaction equilibrium? Though I'm greedy. I'm so greedy that I affect the monthly prosperity in the negatives. We still got loose lips, so our counter-espionage sucks. How's Genoa looking? They're decently fond of me, which means going to war with them would cost me stability, unless I began to openly antagonize them. They have a subject. Gazaria. Little Gazaria all the way over. Nah, forget about him, man. Gazaria's not gonna help him out. If we decide to go against Genoa, I would need enough boats to get my armies, and we could drop into Corsica, and then boat on over to Genoa itself. And they're northern, right? They're likely going to side with the Holy Roman Empire against the Pope. I think. Let's see, do I want to do anything else right now? I haven't even unpaused yet. It's still April 1st, 1337. We're still leaked and April Fools alike. Money's gonna be good. Got lots and lots of buildings going on. Boats. I should make more boats. Create new unit. Creates an empty unit to assign regiments. Where's the build to? There's a build to navy option. I gotta get more accustomed to the UI. Build to navy. Build ships directly to this selected navy. We'll do traditional galleries, because even though it has 3, the cogs have 3 better defense. The sacrifice is 5 less fucking cannons. We don't have the gold, though. So, I guess we won't make any new boats yet. We got diplomats we could use, but I think I'll hold off on them. Casus Belli for the throne of Albania. You know what the trouble with that is? They're my vassal. We cannot declare war on my own subjects. Thanks for nothing. Our Dubrovnik market is... Oh, we're making profit in Dubrovnik! And now, the very exciting part of the game where we sit here and we wait. Ottomans have popped up. Always a bit of a hiccup, even trying to pause when a new situation shows up. Rivalry declared. The Byzantine Empire, with the Ottomans right at their gates, decides that I am the bigger threat. Guelphs, we have actions we could take, don't we? Leader selection by score. Who has a greater score? Should I invite people to Guelphs? We could invite Aquila, Venice. Let's get Venice in. Sicily. Will not... Oh. Will anybody accept? Sort by willingness. Nobody is willing to accept an invitation right now. Fine. Rebel movements, Orthodox zealots already. How come? Port K, little orthodoxies. Is it because of the Byzantines? The Byzantines declared me their rival, and now, by complete and utter coincidence, the Orthodox Greekos are suddenly getting an eye for rebellion. Political landscape, Guelphs and Ghibellines. Situations are irrelevant now. And requirements. Guelphs has at least 100 progress, currently 0%. Ghibellines has 100 progress, currently 0. Current age is age of discovery or later. So, if we sanction the Empire, Guelphs gain lifted duties, which means they'll have lower Imperial contribution cost, Imperial Treasury contribution cost lowered. Ghibellines gain sanction of the Empire, higher trade maintenance, higher trade or worse trade efficiency. You know what? Let's do it. Let's sanction the Empire. Antagonize the Holy Roman Empire and the Holy Roman Emperor by suggesting the Ghibellines with sanctions while liberating Guelphs from certain duties. We are a big enough force of trade and power that we can do this. And there's more of us than there is of them. We'll be making the out group feel so much worse for aligning with them. And surely this isn't going to come back and bite me in the butt. Okay, we're getting lots of nice money, but how was our... All of the burgers are up to over 50 now. They're at 50.4. They're just over the bar. Let's see. Inflation is at 0.11. Let's keep it going for a bit longer. 0.11 isn't too bad. How much do these guys like me? 56, 50.4, 51.3. Let's get a bit more stockpile going first. Man, the music really is soft. Could I... 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. I know my headphones aren't falling apart, it's just really soft right now. Let me try listening to my own stream. So let me give me a few seconds to not hear my own voice. And then I get spinny circle. Don't tell me that the bitrate is already crashing out on me again. Is it going to be a once per hour thing? Learn my lesson, let me save real quick. It's not going to be a new save every single time, is it? I gotta save before I alt-tab out. Ah, oh, come on! We're doing this... We're doing this again. 30,000 frames dropped. 30,000! A whole 1/3 of all stream, of all. It really is nuts how the most reliable way I have of fixing the frames is simple. No, still not good. What if it is my side today? What if I am the one with the bad internet? Should I give myself a second speed test to see? Because it can't be me. The internet works on my side. I'm looking at some good stuff. Download speed is already impressive 300s, 260 something. How's my upload speed going to look though? Upload speed? 70, so maybe it is. Maybe I am having a rougher time on the upload speed today. 60, 61, 60, 60. Upload speed of 64.5 megabytes per second and an upload ping of 196. So maybe we are just having more suffering right now. It is looking pretty stable right now, so maybe it was just having a weird... No, there it goes. I can't trust it. It goes stable for a bit, and then 2,000, 1,000. Goes good for a bit, then 2,000. Then 0! Heckin' 0! You know, I think it might just be me today. I think this is actually my own internet being very not so good. I say very not so good, but I have an upload speed right now with 56.51, which is 5 times better than how I used to stream. But an upload ping of 161 means there is still quite a bit of delay, so it could be me. This could actually be me this time. How about this? It's very nearly been a couple of hours of stream, right? Don't crash on me, Europa Universalis. What we'll do is I'll take a little bit of a BRB. Let me quickly... Let's see, studio mode. We'll go back to the scene here. Hi. And then where's my bitrate? Bitrate. Copy the transform over here. Go back to BRB, bitrate. Paste the transform. So it's just here in the corner. And so let me take a BRB, and then hopefully by the time I come back, this internet decides to stabilize on itself. I really hope so. So, catch you folk in a few, and hopefully with better, stable conditions. Doesn't look likely, though. Still no good. We're coming up to almost 1 of every 2. We're just below 50% now for the drop frames. Man, what is going on? What is going on today? Do we have worm sign? 3,000, 4,000? No. It's still no good. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna try something, alright? The disconnection protection is amazing, but I think right now I got no choice. I'm gonna try unplugging and replugging in the router. Alright, folks. We'll Universalis again in a little bit if things stabilize. So, here we go.